A very good evening all. I'm Aditi Lamba with the Thursday night edition of South Asian News, Vision of Asia. We are coming to you from our studio in New York City. Welcome to the show. Let's begin the episode taking a look at the coronavirus pandemic and its impact. The world has surpassed 129 million cases of COVID-19 with nearly 3 million deaths. Here in the United States, we are at more than 552,000 COVID-19 deaths with more than 30 million cases. As the nation races to vaccinate all, variants of the coronavirus have now been circulating all across, which is worrying health experts and the Biden administration. The concerning variant here is the one first found in the UK, and there have been more than 11,000 cases already reported. COVID-19 cases and hospitalizations are also starting to see an uptick, with states such as Florida, Michigan, Texas affected more than others. On vaccines, drug maker Johnson & Johnson said it found a quality problem at a Baltimore plant helping manufacture its single-dose COVID-19 vaccine. About 15 million doses have now been lost after a mix-up. Meanwhile, in the case of former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin's trial, witness testimonies continued today describing the horrific death of George Floyd last year and calling on police brutality. Send us your comments on the ongoing trial on events at itvgold.com. With that, it's now time to begin the South Asian News segment, reflecting much tonight on coronavirus, the climate, and culture. Here are the headlines. Pfizer says COVID-19 vaccine protection lasts at least 6 months. Dr. Rachana Kulkarni, New Jersey. Indian Consulate and GOPIO Manhattan commemorate Shaheed Diwas 2021, New York City. Safe Water Network presents World Water Day 2021 featuring Indra, Nooyi. It's time for a short break on Vision of Asia South Asian News segment. We'll be right back. Welcome again. I am Aditi Lama and this is Vision of Asia, Thursday night episode of South Asian News. Let's take a look at coronavirus updates and measures. So far, more than 195 million vaccine doses have been distributed in the United States and 150 million doses have been administered. CDC also stated that most Americans aged 65 and older have now been fully vaccinated. More on vaccine, Pfizer BioNTech said that as a part of a 46,000-person clinical trial, a new study found that volunteers remained more than 90% protected against symptomatic COVID-19 6 months after getting the second dose. Pfizer also said that the volunteers in the trial were even better protected against severe disease. The company also showed that its COVID-19 vaccine is effective against the coronavirus first identified in South Africa. This comes as the spread of several variants is concerning experts nationwide, which has led to a rise in cases of COVID-19 and hospitalizations. On this and much more, earlier today we spoke with Dr. Rachana Kulkarni. Here is Dr. Kulkarni. I want to discuss one of the biggest news that has come in today. Pfizer, the vaccine has said, the company has said that it's effective for about 6 months after you get the second dose. It also said that it's effective against the South African variant. My question to you is, what is your comment on that? And when you compare this vaccine with, say, a flu shot, how long does that last for a person?
Excellent question. The news from Pfizer is very, very encouraging that the immunity lasts for at least 6 months and hopefully more. So that's excellent, and also very encouraging that it is effective with all the important variants, except for the Brazilian variant. And I don't think there is data about it yet. It was never tested. But this is very encouraging news.
Right. And how do you compare it to the flu shot and its immunity?
it's so much better. Flu shots immunity is 50 to 60%. The new mRNA Pfizer vaccine technology has been compared to considered the gold standard in vaccine, which is the measles vaccine. And that's usually 90 to 92%. And this vaccine is claimed to be 95 to 98%. So these are some outstanding statistics, so very encouraging.
And when you are looking at this flu shot, one more question, Dr. Kulkarni, does the flu shot also say that it only has immunity up to a certain amount of months, but we still take it just every year and it's supposed to protect us for a whole year?
Flu shot is seasonal. So sometimes flu shot, it depends on where the flu virus starts and what mutations are. So, this is consider coronavirus as something like a flu shot that we may have to take every year, because the virus mutates just like any other virus, or just like the flu virus. The virus mutates, and then the scientists and the physicians have to adapt to the new virus, create the vaccine for that particular season, and then give the vaccine. That may not cover all the strains, which is usual for most of the vaccines. And the flu shot also covers you for a certain period of time only, few months, because these coronavirus and the flu virus are mostly more prevalent in the winter seasons because of the close quarters, because the virus works and mutates a lot better in colder temperatures. So in my educated guess would be that we will be seeing a flu shot and a corona shot for at least few years to come.
This week, the Indian American community has been commemorating Shaheed Diwas 2021. On this day, Indians all across the globe honor and pay tribute to Indian freedom fighters Bhagat Singh, Sukhdev Thapar, and Shivaram Rajguru, who were hanged to death in 1931 when India was colonized and ruled by the British Raj. These freedom fighters were arrested for their involvement in a Lahore conspiracy case, and a British court gave them the death penalty. Since then, every year, India celebrates a day to remember the sacrifices of these freedom fighters for the nation and the inspiration they left behind. On this, the Consulate General of India in New York and the Global Organization of People of Indian Origin, GOPIO, held a virtual commemoration for Shaheed Diwas 2021. The virtual event saw speeches and patriotic Indian songs along with Consul General Randhir Jaiswal as the chief guest. Here is the story.
Raji?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Anup Bhargav, and I will be the host for the day. It is my pleasure to be the host for the evening, which is organized by GOPIO, and I thank them for giving me this opportunity. My greetings to Consul General Shri Randhir Jaiswal ji, Deputy Consul General Shri Shatrughan Sinha ji, and our esteemed guests, Dr. Anita Faf, Maya Chadha ji, Dr. Bhuvan Lal ji, and Lord Rami Ranger ji. We start this evening, and I don't need to tell everybody why we are here today. March 23rd, 1931, Shaheed Bhagat Singh, Sukhdev Thapar, and Shivaram Rajguru lost their life for the nation. We are here to them. Today is March, and it's just happened to be a coincidence that it is also the day on which a revolutionary poet, as revolutionary as the three people I mentioned, Avatar Singh Sandhush, was also attained martyrdom. And it is very interesting that Pash has written some beautiful poems about Shaheed Bhagat Singh. And I will be quoting them from time to time in this program.
Namaste and greetings to all from the Indian Consulate in New York. First of all, I must commend the initiative of GOPIO Manhattan for organizing Martyrs' Day celebration. Mr. Shivendra Sofat, you deserve special praise for it. And so do Dr. Thomas, Abraham, Mr. Anup Bhargav, and other leaders of GOPIO, and other distinguished members of GOPIO. We have a very distinguished set of speakers today. I am happy and delighted to be in the company of Madam Anita Paff, a distinguished economist and daughter of our very own Netaji. Madam, of your father and our dear Netaji, the more we express our gratitude, the less it appears. On an official trip to Myanmar, I was honored to meet some of his comrades who formed part of the Azad Hind Fauj. The President of India had bestowed on them our everlasting gratitude. I met Lord Rami Ranger in London and again in Delhi on 15th August 2019. And of Dr. Bhuvan Lal, I can say that his stories of Netaji and Lala Hardayal inspiring. Dr. I have heard a lot about your scholarly pursuits and look forward to meeting you and engaging you on political science, aesthetics, textiles, and much more. Ladies and gentlemen, today is a red letter day, a day when we remember the sacrifice of Bhagat Singh, Shaheed Bhagat Singh, Sukhdev and Rajguru, and countless others, our legendary heroes. It is an occasion to delve deep into the lives of our revolutionary heroes, to recall the stories of bravery and bravado, of passion and courage, and of unconditional love for motherland, for Bharat, for India, and for Hindustan. Celebrating Shaheed Diwas in the United States has a special meaning. This country connects us to our freedom fighters in more ways than one, but none more prominent than the Ghadar Party and its ideology, which influenced the thought of the Naujawan Bharat Sabha, founded by Bhagat Singh. I feel privileged that after the founding of the Ghadar Party by Lala Hardayal, Kartar Singh Sarabha, Sohan Singh Bhakna, and several others, a century ago, as a representative of India today, I seek inspiration in what our compatriots did for the motherland. I humbly bow to them and to Shaheed Bhagat Singh, to Rajguru, to Sukhdev, and to all our legends. Their life and legacy continues to fire my sense of nationalism and duty towards India. As does the sacrifice of young Khudiram Bose, who was arrested from the small town in Bihar where I was born. And for that reason, my birthplace continues to be an everlasting inspiration for me. On 15th August 2022, India will be celebrating its 75th year of independence. We have begun our celebrations of a hard-won freedom. Our Prime Minister launched the celebration campaign, Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, that is India at 75, from Sabarmati Ashram, Ahmedabad, on 12th March 2021, this year. This day is of significance. It was the day on which Mahatma Gandhi launched the Salt in 9. We feel honored to launch our Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, India at 75 celebrations in New York today on this Shaheed Diwas. We couldn't have done better. Our India at 75 celebrations will run up to 15th August 2023. We count on each one of you, and in particular GOPIO, to make them a success. I thank you very much.
Welcome back. I am Aditi Lama, and this is Vision of Asia South Asian news segment. Let's now take a look at the Safe Water Network, a global nonprofit with 15 years of experience innovating and implementing small water enterprises in India and Ghana. The network provides clean, safe, and affordable water to more than 1.6 million people in 500 communities. On that, recently, the Safe Water Network presented a virtual World Water Day on the issue of water and climate change. The virtual event saw young leaders from around the world and several prominent South Asian personalities, including Indra Nooyi, the former PepsiCo CEO and chair. Ms. Nooyi spoke on the preservation of water and said that she has a personal connection to the cause of water and climate change. She also encouraged all to come together on the very important issue. So here are some highlights from the event.
Or attending our panel, Water and Climate Change, Risk and Resilience here at Safe Water Network. I'm happy to share that we have over 840 people from over 35 countries joining us today. My name is Kara Eubanks, and I'm the CEO of Kara Speaks Kara Writes, LLC, a consulting, ghostwriting, and leadership development firm. In addition to being Miss Broward County for the Miss America organization, I'm also the youth representative of New Future Foundation to the United Nations and Youth Steering Committee member for the United Nations Department of Global Communications. As many of you may already know, the United Nations has laid out 17 sustainable development goals that nations must achieve to have a more sustainable future. And while today's event, Water and Climate Change, Risk and Resilience on World Water Day, falls under several of the 17 SDGs, today's event is also in line with SDG 6, Access to Clean Water. I would like to pass the floor over to Kurt Soerlin, the founding CEO of Safe Water Network and a member of Safe Water Network's Board of Advisors, for his opening remarks.
Thank you, Cairo. Welcome all to the second youth convening of Safe Water Network. It's terrific to know so many are actively engaged and interested in the issue of safe water. To see today's discussion, I have a couple of brief comments. First, I'd like to acknowledge today being the 29th celebration of World Water Day. This year, the United Nations asked us to consider the value of water. As I contemplate the value of water, I think of the enormity of the challenge from the perspective of the 2 billion people every day struggle to access safe water. This struggle needlessly compromises the health and livelihoods of too many communities all over the world, including here in the United States where I live. Second, I ask you to consider the many complexities of this challenge: equitable, reliable access, affordability, source water sustainability, water quality, social and behavioral challenges, financing, and many stress factors inhibiting progress: politics, population migrations and growth, industrial factors, and of course, impact of climate.
I must tell you that water is very personal to me because I grew up in a town that was extremely water distressed. So I feel the need for water deep down inside. And I've had the pleasure of knowing Safe Water Network literally since the beginning, and want to applaud the impact you've had over the last decade, especially when I consider the topic of today, water and climate change. You know, for a long time, people had a lot of difficulty articulating the link between these two. I'm sure that scientists understood the challenge, but for many, there were really two camps: the climate change camp and the water security camp. And in many ways, they kept very separate. I've always believed that a lot of the real innovation, the disruptive ideas, the breakthroughs, don't come from looking at issues in a silo. They come from exploring the white spaces between the silos. And that's how we need to think, in a systems way, as an interdependent society living in an interconnected world focused on collaboratively finding solutions. Now, once we find the solutions, it's also important that people hear about them. You know, one of the things that amazed me when I was in PepsiCo is that I would travel around the world and meet with so many people of diverse backgrounds and different cultures. And it's the ingenuity that people use to find solutions to problems on a very, very local level. I'd like to close with a quote from a cultural anthropologist, Margaret Mead, who said, "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world." Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has. It's the only thing that ever has. Every one of you can be part of those thoughtful, committed citizens, and every one of you can be part of the solutions that are so desperately needed. And I know in my heart that you will, collectively, find the solutions to make the world a better place. Thank you.
Actor and philanthropist Paul Newman recognized that water would become one of the 21st century's highest priorities. That's why he co-founded Safe Water Network in 2006. Paul was right. Water is life's most precious necessity, and yet it's less safe, less reliable, and harder to reach due to threats such as climate change, population growth, and pollution. Today, more than 2 billion people around the world are in need of safe water. That number will increase unless we act now. Our small water enterprise model addresses a variety of water challenges and keeps safe water flowing in hundreds of communities in Africa and India. These locally owned and operated businesses can be rolled out quickly in areas of need. Sustainability is integrated into all aspects of our model. It starts with an environmental survey of existing sources to ensure watersheds are managed properly. Stations are designed to reduce their carbon and waste footprint through a number of innovations. Solar energy powers stations on and off the electrical grid. Reusable containers lessen the need for single-use plastics. Digital financial tools ensure that less water is wasted. Non-potable water is recycled for cleaning, crops, and other uses. We also provide the ongoing training and support to maintain and improve operations for the long haul. When communities have safe, reliable water, mothers and children live happier, more prosperous lives. With your help, we can assist many more communities in need.
Correct.
Join us in fulfilling Paul Newman's vision of a world with safe water for all.
What could be better than to hold your hand out to people who are less fortunate than you are?
Safe water saves lives.
Well, this wraps up our show for the night. Please send us a suggestion, get your voices and organizations on our show. Email us on events@itvgold.com or follow us on Facebook @itvgold. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel for free access to many of our popular shows. Thank you for joining us tonight from Queens, New York. This is Vision of Asia, and I am Aditi Lamba. Take care and be well.